Hi everyone, today I am way deep in the east of Osaka. I'm not even in the Osaka prefecture anymore. I'm in the Nara prefecture, which is just to the east. There are two stores that are like way out in the countryside here. And I kind of felt like a walk. It was just sort of like, I just want to get in the countryside. We're past some mountains. It's really scenic stuff. And it's just sort of this nice day to take these two stores. And when I got to this store, I remembered something about this store. I was like, last time I was here, this guy had a lot of Famicom Disk System. And I thought to myself, will there still be there? We've seen on this trip that often the stores are not the same. When you find something good on the first trip, it may not be here. But in this store, the store manager is a true FDS appreciator. I've seen the biggest amount of Famicom Disk Systems and all the variants as well. We've got the twin Famicom, we've got the regular orange red box one, we've got boxed, we've got loose. They're all so many in good condition, and games as well. And we're gonna see the way that the discs for the Famicom Disk System, they could be rewritten. You can get blanks, you get them from a vending machine, and we're gonna see some examples of that. So let's head up into the Hard Off and check out Famicom Disk Systems and just so much good stuff in this store. It is worth the trip. Let's do it.
Future Lewis in April 2024 is giving you the voiceover today. This footage was originally shot in January 2023, and since then, the yen has got weaker by about 15%, so it's an even better deal in today's money. And as you come in here, we see already just rows and rows and boxes of Famicom Disk System. So up the top there, nice, clear, white Famicom. So $550, that's about $35 in 2024. And then we've got the Famicom Disk System boxes, $7,700. That's about $50. So you're looking at about $85 all up. Twin Famicom. And those red ones, I really want. The 3.2 is the 1.1. These are fairly standard prices. And while if you look around Japan, you can find a cheaper price, most certainly, on a twin or something like that, you've got to remember with these disk systems, these guys all need repair. The rubber belts that are running the disk drive have all deteriorated in this time. And so you need to make sure that that belt is in good condition. And when I see a store like this, look at it, just rows and rows, some white, some off-white. I guess you can make your choice. You kind of know in this store that the guy has taken care to repair all of them. So even if this was 10, 15, $30 extra to get it from this particular store, I would say if I was going to buy a disk system, I'd want to get it from here. These nice boxed units as well. That really classic Famicom silver and gray. That's the original box that the Japanese Famicom came in. It was like wide and long like that with the silver. And this is the way that they typically wrap them in a Hard Off store, in that plastic. Lots of games as well. I really like the Star Wars. It comes in that shiny, silvery, bluey case. And Top Gun. I'm going for all the American hits here. I'm kind of fascinated how American TV shows came into being in Japan at that time. Super Mario Bros. 3, one of the most common, just because, I mean, there was 70 trillion copies of it sold. Lots of Famicom Disk System games as well. And as we're going to start flicking through here, you see, so this particular game was actually produced from a Famicom Disk System booth. There were booths in combines, in convenience stores, and you could rewrite a game onto that disc. That was one of their whole things about using magnetic media. So when you see Famicom Disk Systems like this, that's actually legit. And I haven't done the translation to see what game, but you're pretty sure they've been tested like that. Versus Excitebike is one of my favorites on the system. And also the FDS discs, they are dual-sided as well. So it could also be that you bought a game and it only used one side. So then you could actually really legitimately and by design go down to the local 7-Eleven, stick that disc that you just bought into the reader machine and buy another game and put it on the other side. Super Famicom not to be left out, and you can really see the yellowing difference. I've got to say, what I noticed between consoles in Japan, often the yellowed ones really don't go at a lower price. So maybe that's up to you. That Hudson 2 button. And at the back there, this SD station. This was essentially an external audio unit for the Famicom. It would plug into that front gamepad port and give you headphones, volume control. I really like these old sticks. I collect these old sticks. I've got one of those. So we're looking at the N64's $550. So that's about, again, $35 for an N64. It's still a really good deal. The days of finding an N64 in the junk are kind of gone for the most part, but $35 with a controller, you're not going to say no. So that's the Famicom AV. It always still goes for a bit of a premium. The Vectric's very expensive. I have no idea how much. And you can see in the corner there, the Hori N64 pads. They are really nice. That's going for about that was going for about $35 again. You won't say no for $35, and I appreciate this sign. You can take a photo. Yes, sir, you can. This made me feel a bit better. That's also the reason why I'm doing the voiceover later. You don't want to be that obnoxious foreigner running around the store yelling into the camera. So do the voiceover later, but you are allowed to record now. A lot more box stuff here. This guy, Saturn. And really, there's quite of a range. So we're going there from like 100, over 100. So right down, 660, 750, $80 for these. You can still get a Dreamcast. If you've got the space, you can still get a lot of good deals. And when you consider like, oh no, it's not $10, but it's 35, 40, 50 for these systems is really a good price. I really like these old XE sticks. That's one for the Famicom there. They're very expensive. MSX2, Roger, 8-Bit Esquire is going to be loving that. He's a fan of the MSX. So the AV Famicoms, they really go for quite a premium in the box, definitely. I really like the Virtua Stick. I got one of these as well. I got it in a kind of a crappy box, but that aesthetic, that one's a little bit yellowed. I didn't pick up this one because of that. Had a few marks on it. I just like the look on it. I don't want to mod it. I'm actually the opinion you shouldn't mod that stick. Look, I don't want to tell no one what to do. Dreamcast keyboard. But for me, if I get the Virtua Stick, I don't want to mod it. I think it's a bit of history. I'd like to keep it as it is. I was a bit frustrated. I just bought this 2 days before with a terrible box for about the same price. And that's the game. This is the game of hard off hunting in Japan. That you could be there for a week, 2 weeks, whatever you're doing, a crazy person like me. And you don't know when you're going to find a good deal. And you probably won't be back to this store. This store, as I was saying, is like an hour and a half outside of Osaka. I'm not, unless it's a major deal, I'm not coming back. So I've got to make the choice. I'm going to buy it. I'm going to wait. It's all a little bit of a gamble. This is the fun that I love it. And I don't want to say I lost, but I didn't win on that particular stick. I got a beat up old box where the next day, there it was, same price. Mega Drive box art. Awesome. Japan just has better. We all know the games, obviously. We've seen that so many times, have better box art. But the systems, I reckon, overall did as well. I would love one of these Dreamcast twin sticks. They're just huge. You got to fit that into a suitcase. It's going to take up a lot of room. That's the Dreamcast arcade stick. Fit the VMU in the top. I really like it. Again, with the Virtua Stick, I'm not going to mod that bad boy. Yeah, there's the case for the Virtua Stick. So that's the kind of that Model 2 Saturn style of box. So if you see the shiny Saturn box there, that's Model 1. And anything from the Model 2 era has that black or red and white, sorry. A little bit of a CRT. We're going to see later there are a few more CRTs in this store. And this is a PlayStation 2 printer. Only going to set you back about $40 or so. These are the things I would love. If I was at home and you told me, hey, Lewis, you want a PlayStation printer for $40? I'd be like, hell yeah. But when you're in Japan, when you're away from home, you've got to think about suitcase, luggage, size, and weight. You're doing mathematics in your head the whole time, trying to work it out. Hey, it's a Mario. There is another whole aisle of consoles. Xbox, PlayStation are over here. So the original Xbox, not a big thing in Japan. That's why you're going to pay a premium for the OG Xbox stuff. But Xbox 360, pretty common. But Xbox, never that popular in Japan. It's all about the PlayStation. That's the PlayStation 3 gun. You in America got the gray one. In Japan, they got the gray one. In Europe, we got a red one, and it's awesome. I have one. It's probably my favorite light gun. It's big. It feels like a real gun. This is a PlayStation 4 light gun. Look, I don't love the aesthetic. I guess they wanted to get away from Columbine Bang Bang style controversies. GameCubes here. So a lot of Game Boy Player in Japan. Really quite common. You can pick them up. And that's the original Game Boy Player disc there. Wii's surrounding it. I really like those red Wii's. They're some of my favorites. Some CRTs that are available here. So for some reason, this store just has a bunch of CRTs. I'm not sure why. I would say they're not uncommon, but not common in every Hard Off store either. This guy seems to have a bunch of VHS. And we're looking there, composite only, or is that an S-video? Hard to see from this angle. I'm the weirdo pointing the camera around the back of CRTs, trying to see what is. But most common would be composite and S-video, but I did see a bunch of component as well. Not so much JP21, the Japanese SCART variant. Looking real nice, though. They're looking clean. Everything in this store is clean. Like, it might be yellow, but it's clean. Again, another one. That's a... Wait, is that VHS down there? So 330. So you're looking, that's like 20 bucks. Unfortunately, a little bit heavy. Can't get U-ship. All right, let's wrap it up with a little bit of a junk tour here. GameCube's in the junk. You're really sure that that's just the disc drive. All of these consoles, you can see, it's pretty much the disc drive. Well, except for Famicom. Hard to say why that Famicom is in the junk. It could be just the 20th one they've got that day. So 1,500, that's only about 10 bucks. You put a Fenrir in that, you replace the drive, you got an awesome Saturn for only 5 bucks. And the 3DO as well. I can't read that Japanese there. Again, most of the time this is going to be the drive if you're good at that. But with the advent of our optical drive emulators, there's really a lot of choices to pick up a lot of these old consoles. And while in the US and definitely in Europe, there's not just GameCube sitting around doing nothing. There are GameCubes sitting around doing nothing in Japan. See just piles of this stuff. That shell is really nice. Again, I would have brought this, but again, size. That takes up a lot of space in my suitcase. But that fluoro trans blue, really nice color. There's an N64. I was lying. There's an N64 in the junk. Why are these in the junk? It can just be because they were the last one off the line. Because this guy's already got rows and rows and rows of Super Famicom, or whatever the console is. And this is just the one he deems is not as good as the other. To end the tour, this is what I picked up from this store. Star Wars, the extended cut trilogy on VHS, 5 bucks. And Star Wars originally trilogy on Laserdisc. I do not own a Laserdisc. Steve does. I got to take him to America and play him with Steve. This was, again, like 5 bucks. I'm not turning this down for 5 bucks. There's a whole bunch of discs because it doesn't fit even one side of a Laserdisc. I think it's at least 2 per movie. And then you've still got to swap them. So that's 2 swaps you probably got to do per movie. There's 3 sides. It looks great. It makes a really nice piece. So thanks, everyone. This is the end of the video. I'll do my little thanks. This was still mask time. Japanese people are really into masks anyway. So this is my first store tour. I've got about 9 more of these lined up. I just haven't sort of had the feeling, I guess. It's hard to say. I'm getting the feeling back thanks to my friend Steve. He's really pulling me out of the slump. So I'm going to do a few more of these voiceover videos and show you more of the wonders of Hard Off in Japan. Yes, Lewis, Super Famicoms are available in all these stores. It is truly a wonderland if you can get yourself over there. All right, guys. It's been a good voiceover. Thank you very much. See you next time.